Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and two interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Welcome to Shorts. This is Tara. Today we're talking about change, and I can't wait for this afternoon because my face is going to change. I'm going to Dr. T for some Botox. So excited.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
I can't even look in the mirror in the sun because all the wrinkles, it just shines there. It's
yeah.
So good. It's like you step in and get airbrushed, right?
Oh, it's the best feeling. And she yells at me. I don't know if you've seen her on my Instagram, but she literally yells at me about everything because I'm there a lot. But and she'll just, the best part about her is she'll tell me that she won't do it. She'll just say you're absolutely crazy, Tara. I've calmed down a little bit, but I do love Botox.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know. With my dermatologist, I just say, beam me up. And I'm like, do whatever you think.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty. That's what I say to her. And she steps away and then she looks at me and she's like, I think you need, this. And I'm like, okay, do it. You're the sculptor.
The first time I got Botox, well, first of all, my husband did not know for 10 years that I got Botox. And they would always talk about, it's like putting poison in your face and blah, blah. And I'd be sweating in the car. And the first time I ever got it, I was so upset. I was because I didn't know what my face was going to look like,
Scary.
And he didn't know. The only time I finally had to tell him when I put something on Instagram about it. And I called him, do you remember in therapy, the doorknob where they say something at the end that's really important that you can't dive into?
Yep. And time's up.
Time's up. So I called him and I knew he was going in a meeting. And I said, just so you know, I'm putting something on my Instagram today, and it's me getting Botox. So have a good day.
I mean, he didn't notice on the credit card bill?
No, I paid for that on my own. But change is always hard, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, it's not easy. And I think I always say, if it's hard, do it. If it makes you scared, do it. I say this to my kids all the time, except if it's drugs. But if it scares you...
Oh, that's when I say do it.
If it scares you, do it because it probably means you should.
Right. And that's where you grow, right? It's that dissonance, that rub that's really challenges you.
Right. And so how do you guys work with change or resistance to change in your business?
Well, we think about it from a psychological model. Do you guys remember Prochaska and DiClemente stages of change?
Of course.
Yeah, it's referenced a lot. It's a really cool model that they came up with. Pre-contemplation, contemplation, planning, action, and maintenance are the steps. But what I thought was so cool about it when I learned about it in grad school is you don't walk through the steps in a linear fashion. They're dynamic. So you go from pre-contemplation to contemplation to planning and then back into pre-contemplation. Does that remind you of anybody?
Oh my gosh, that one client. God. I mean, I had anxiety, I think, every time we pulled up to her house because we didn't know what we were going to get because she was going back and forth in all those stages. And it was really hard for me to work with her. It was not fun. I did not want to go. And she really wasn't ready for an interior designer. She wasn't ready.
So what do you think prompted her to reach out to you then if she wasn't ready? She thought she was?
Yeah, I think she thought she was. She wanted to do some stuff. Maybe the budget didn't align. I'm not exactly sure. There was a lot of triangulation. She would have to go back to her husband, and then, we didn't hear from her for a month, and then she'd reach back out. I don't know. Did you find it frustrating, Caroline?
I did find it frustrating, but I think one of the things that was going on for her is she had a senior in high school at the time. And I think that angst around okay, now I can change his room and I can da-da-da-da. And how do I get a semblance of control in this situation that it's so out of my control. So she looked to the interior design to help her through something that was difficult, but then ultimately couldn't, get into maintenance or even planning or action with it.
Yeah, because I have a child who left the nest, and it's hard. You do feel a sense of loss. And so she was probably trying to help have you guys help her with that feeling, right?
Absolutely. And I think when feelings come up that are hard, it's easier to focus on concrete and things like a home or couch or whatever than to like actually feel the feelings that are painful.
But it is frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's super frustrating. And I mean, we're happy to help and be there and go through the motions, but we do want to keep going and keep going. And when someone's back and forth, it's not to be rude, but it's basically a waste of our time.
Yeah, I've had similar, I don't talk about my clients, but I did have a client whose husband suggested that she get a stylist, and in a very nice way, because he had a very big job and he just wanted her to have the clothing to be able to go to some of the functions. It wasn't that he didn't like her style or that he didn't like the way he just wanted her to feel good when she went to them.
I love that. He's so sweet.
And so I brought her, I brought her everything so cute, and she bought one shirt. One shirt. And I said, you can't hire me and buy one shirt. You spent more on me than you did clothes.
Right.
And so how do you walk away with one shirt? And I'm not saying I'm like the best at what I do, but I kind of really knew what I was doing.
Yeah. But where's the value in it, right? Like she spent, whatever your hourly rate is to purchase one shirt. Like she could have done that online, like
and
me.
Also, he was saying to her, in a way, can you do this for me? In a way, like, not that I want you to feel good in the things that I have to do, but it helps him if she feels comfortable going. And so she didn't want it. It wasn't her that wanted it.
Well, you can't force someone to change, right?
No.
It goes back to the let them theory, Caroline.
Oh, geez. Mel.
But it is hard, and you have to. I'm very honest. If somebody hires me and that kind of thing happens, or there's many returns beyond where there should be, you shouldn't hire me. Or if you're hiring me to go to like a TJ Maxx, which I have nothing against any of that, or a Target, you're wasting your money.
Yeah, we had a client like that, and we went throughout the whole design process and all our exercises and the intake, and then she was like, I really want this lazy boy sofa. And we were like, you don't hire a designer for a lazy boy sofa.
Yeah, I remember her.
Yes.
Yeah. But we talked about this briefly in a previous episode, but like knowing when to say, you're not ready. And that's okay. Come back to us when you are. We've planted a seed. You know where to find us. If you get to that place where you're wanting to go into action, we're here.
Yes. We are action oriented.
And then do you get the people who all they want is change? They want a totally different house. They want to walk in and be like, wow, I live here?
Yeah, those are the best clients. Are you kidding? Like, please call me.
Me too. I'm like, you want a full makeover? Let's go.
Well, having carte blanche of an entire room, you can get such a better effect than when you have to bring in, this old armoire that they have, or this ugly chair that they really need to keep. And we'll do it. But if you can really do the entire space from top to bottom, the overall effect is so much better.
I have another question talking about change. Do some people do it gradually because maybe they can't handle all of the change? Like maybe you'll start in, I don't know, let's just say a kitchen, because kitchens are pretty popular to redo, right? And they just want to do the kitchen. But then it felt so good and they're so happy. So then you move on to like another room.
Oh, yeah. We call it the Pandora's box client, where they're like, oh, my God, this looks so good. But now I walk into this room and I'm like, ah. So, yeah, it can spill. And it's exciting because then they really do see the potential in their home and the way that they can feel when it really looks nice.
And it's a huge compliment to us that they want to keep going, right? Like we gave them something they love so much that they want us to look at other parts of their house. We have one client who we absolutely love. She basically is just like, you guys do what you want. We know her style so well at this point. And we started with her 5 years ago, and now we're doing her house on the Cape.
That's amazing.
And she's just like good energy, like so fun to work with, and like really has great taste.
That happens with me because typically I'll start with a wife of a couple, whether it's a partner or a man or whatever, and then once they see the change within the person that I'm working with, I end up working with the significant other because they're like, oh, you look so, and it's not just about the way they look. I think it's about the way they feel and the confidence it brings and just the overall greatness that now has, they get up in the morning, they feel great. They can put on things, they feel great. So then it kind of trickles around. And then that's word of mouth too, because then the friends see and.
Yeah. I remember my husband went through like a job transition at a certain point in time, and he would be like, wearing sweats around the house, and what you put on makes you feel a certain way. And then he was like, all right, no, we changed one day. He was like, I'm going to start really trying and work out and put on these nice clothes every day, even though I'm not like, going to an office or whatever was the circumstances. And it changes like every little piece about you, how you walk, how you hold yourself, your posture. And I feel like that does in a house too. Like, the client, I think you're talking about, Allison, and again, we would never give away identities of any of our clients, but
I would.
You're fired.
Yeah, I'm like, you won't be in business long.
No, but she's kept the house exactly the way we left. Like when we photographed it, she keeps it exactly like that. And I think she just feels really good. Amazing. And she feels proud of it. Like they entertain all the time. And it's really cool to see the ripple effect of it.
When I had my kids, a lot of the moms, and I'm not judging, but they stayed in their Lululemons all day. I don't even know if they worked out. I just think that they didn't get out of them.
Stop talking about me, Tara. You're so rude.
But this is what I have to say. Get out of your Lulus or whatever you're wearing, because it's a mindset. If you stay in that workout gear, whether you've worked out or not, you haven't evolved into who you are. You're just the mom who dropped off and you're still in your whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Allison. But I'd work out and then I'd make myself change, and I didn't fit in a lot of my clothes, but it's a mindset, because here I am now. I'm Tara. I'm not just my kid's mom who dropped off. I am me. And it's really important to feel empowered, I think. And sometimes when you don't go change your clothes, you don't feel empowered.
Well, I didn't have to change my clothes because I also didn't work out. So the Lulu stayed fresh. But I do get what you're saying, because I didn't feel good about myself at that point. It's hard to be a mom, and I was definitely, I think I got stuck in that role because I didn't get dressed. Like I didn't have a different identity, which is really hard.
It's so hard, and you have to push yourself, because yes, we're so tired. And it sucks, and we probably didn't sleep, and things don't fit, but it's really important. I have to preface, it's so important to change your clothes. It just, honestly, like during COVID, people would say to me, should I get dressed for a Zoom interview? Yes. Act as if you're in the room with the person, because psychologically, you're going to crush that interview because you feel good in what you're wearing.
And I have to say, you just referenced COVID, and it was exactly in my brain, because I had a conversation with a good friend about how during COVID, like the creativity of curating an outfit is something that I love. I just enjoy that, and self-expression, and not doing that. It was a real loss.
It was a real loss, and I think people just got caught up in it, like we all did. But at some point, a lot of people changed over. But I think that just like we're all saying right now, changes can be hard, but it's so important.
So important. Like instead of curating an outfit, I really learned how to make the perfect dirty martini. I perfected it, and I pretty much drink one every day or two.
Yeah, we were heavy at the alcohol at the beginning. But so Caroline, again, do you want to end with anything on this wonderful topic?
Well, if I'm to kind of like think about the theme that we're talking about, it's change happens, but it doesn't always happen when we think it's going to happen. And I think what you said too at the beginning resonates with me. It's like, if you're not changing, then you're not growing. Mm-hmm. And so we got to think about that.
Yeah. Challenge yourself. Change is scary, but change can be good. And I know you guys referenced Mel Robbins for a minute on Let Them. And
yes, I love that Let Them theory. Yeah. Caroline introduced me to it. And now I'm like, my kids are having a hard day. I'm like, well, you have to let your friends do this. You can't control them. Just let them. And it does help.
It definitely takes the pressure off for sure.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Those 2 words, man.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
We could have done that.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your short list.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.